Hello, my dear friends. This is Dr. Harold Benson, a physician with over 30 years of experience working with people over 60. Today, I want to ask you an unusual question. Tell me honestly, what do you drink in the evening before bed? A cup of tea to warm up? Coffee? Because my brain can't function without it? Maybe a glass of wine to relax? Or a soda for flavor? Now pay attention. These very habits may be your silent enemy, stealing your heart health and depriving you of good sleep. According to the American National Sleep Institute, people over 60 who regularly drink sugary or stimulant drinks in the evening have a 35 higher risk of sleep disturbances and a nearly 40 higher risk of high blood pressure and heart problems. That is, instead of resting, your body continues to work in stress mode. Imagine this situation. You think, what's wrong with a cup of tea before bed? After all, my grandmother did it too. You lie down in bed, but sleep doesn't come right away. Your brain remains active, your heart beats faster. You feel like you're sleeping, but your sleep is shallow and restless. And in the morning, you feel weak, have a headache, and your body feels heavy. And the worst part is, we're used to not associating these feelings with our evening drinks. We think, age, tiredness, the weather. But in reality, everything is much simpler. I'd like to suggest a little experiment to you. Take a piece of paper and write down, what did you drink for dinner yesterday? And the day before yesterday? And a week ago? If at least half of the time there is tea, coffee, sweet soda, or alcohol, this video is for you. Today we'll explore 3 key questions. Which evening drinks after age 60 are the enemy of your sleep and heart? How exactly do they affect your brain, blood vessels, and metabolism? How can you replace these familiar evening rituals to preserve taste and improve your health? I will share with you not only medical facts, but also a personal story of a patient that may seem familiar to you. Stay with me until the end, because I'll give you a step-by-step plan on how to change your evening diet in just 1 week, so you can feel the difference in the morning. And believe me, it won't require much effort. Small changes yield big results. In the meantime, let's figure out why evening tea, coffee, or a glass of wine after 60 can be much more dangerous than you think. Before we start talking about specific drinks, let's look at what exactly happens to the body of a person over 60 in the evening. After 60, metabolism changes. Melatonin, the sleep hormone, decreases in production. The heart and blood vessels become more sensitive to any stress, and the kidneys slow down, so fluid is retained in the body longer. This is why what we drink in the afternoon plays a much more important role than in our youth. And here are the main enemies of restful sleep after 60 years. Many older people think that a cup of tea is a small thing. It's not as strong as coffee. But in fact, both tea and coffee contain caffeine. Caffeine blocks adenosine, a chemical responsible for fatigue. As a result, the brain stays alert, the heart beats faster, and blood vessels constrict. For a young body, this isn't critical. But after 60, the risk of pressure surges increases. The heart rhythm becomes less stable. Sleep becomes superficial and restless. I always tell my patients, if you drink tea or coffee in the evening, consider that you are depriving yourself of several hours of good sleep. Many people think, okay, I don't drink coffee, but tea with sugar is harmless. But this is another insidious enemy. The sugar in the drink instantly raises blood glucose levels. The body is forced to release insulin to lower blood sugar. A couple of hours later, a sugar crash sets in. Weakness, dizziness, and anxiety. And the worst part is that at night, when you should be sleeping peacefully, your body works in emergency mode. Carbonated sweet drinks are even worse. They combine sugar with acids and gas, further irritating the stomach. This can cause heartburn, heaviness, and even nighttime awakenings. Many will object, "Doctor, but a glass of wine helps you relax." Yes, alcohol can help you fall asleep faster, but it changes your sleep completely. Alcohol disrupts sleep structure, depriving people of deep sleep. As a result, people may seem to sleep through the night, but in the morning they feel tired, have a headache, and sometimes feel irritable. Furthermore, after age 60, alcohol puts a much greater strain on the liver and heart. Even small amounts in the evening can trigger arrhythmia, high blood pressure, and nighttime awakenings from palpitations. I would like to tell the story of Mr. Robert, 69 years old. He came to me complaining, "Doctor, I go to bed at 11 p.m. but wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. and can't fall back asleep. I walk around like a sleepy fly during the day, and I can't get anything done." We started looking into it. It turned out he drank a large mug of tea every evening to relax and warm up. Sometimes he'd add a spoonful of honey or sugar. The tests showed his blood pressure was unstable and his heart was irregular. I asked him to give up his evening tea for just a week and replace it with a warm, caffeine-free herbal infusion. And what do you think? After just 5 days, Robert said, "Doctor, for the first time in a long time, I slept 7 hours straight and woke up feeling refreshed." And a month later, his blood pressure stabilized and his daytime sleepiness disappeared. This is an example of how a small habit can greatly impact the quality of life. Why is this especially dangerous after 60? The cardiovascular system becomes more vulnerable. Any stimulation from caffeine or alcohol increases the risk of hypertension and arrhythmia. The brain ages, and deep sleep is vital for its recovery. Any stimulus shortens this sleep. The kidneys are less able to eliminate fluid. Therefore, evening drinks often lead to nighttime trips to the bathroom, which further disrupts sleep. The good news is that giving up your usual evening drinks doesn't mean depriving yourself of pleasure. Instead of tea or coffee, try herbal infusions: chamomile, mint, lemon balm, linden. Not only do they not interfere with sleep, but they also help you relax. Instead of sweet soda, try a glass of warm water with a slice of lemon or unsweetened compote. Instead of wine, try warm milk with cinnamon or turmeric. It gently relaxes and doesn't disrupt sleep patterns. Friends, as you can see, the habit of having a drink in the evening can be both your ally and your enemy. It all depends on your choice. Friends, now we know, an evening drink is not just a habit, but a real choice between health and illness. Tea, coffee, sweet soda, a glass of wine, all of these may seem like harmless rituals. But for those over 60, such habits can lead to sleep disturbances, blood pressure spikes, fatigue, and even heart problems. After all, sleep is the main source of restoration. It's during sleep that the immune system is strengthened, the brain is cleared of toxins, and the heart and blood vessels get a break. If we deprive ourselves of quality sleep, aging accelerates significantly. But the good news is that you can change the situation in just a few days. A step-by-step plan that I recommend to my patients. Identify your evening habits. For 3 days, record what you drink after 6:20 p.m. This will give you a true picture. Eliminate caffeinated drinks. Try to avoid tea and coffee in the evening for at least a week. Even weak tea contains caffeine. Avoid sugar and soda in the evening. Remember, sweet tea and soda give you a burst of energy, followed by a sharp decline. Limit alcohol. A glass of wine in the evening may seem harmless, but it disrupts deep sleep. If you really want to have it, it's best to wait until daytime. Replace your habits with healthy drinks. Herbal infusions, chamomile, mint, lemon balm, warm water with lemon, warm milk with cinnamon. All these options help you relax and sleep better. Create a quiet evening ritual. Drink your healthy drink not in front of the TV, but in a calm environment, with a book, quiet music, or light conversation. Your brain will perceive this as a signal to rest. Remember Mr. Robert's story. It only took him a week without evening tea to start sleeping 7 hours straight. And this isn't an exception, but a pattern. I've seen dozens of times how a simple change in beverages transformed patients' lives. They became more alert, calmer, their mood improved, and even their memory improved. Friends, after 60, every choice we make becomes especially important. But don't see this as a limitation. On the contrary, it's an opportunity to take control of your health. Try living without evening tea, coffee, and wine for just a week, and see for yourself how your mornings change. I'm sure you'll feel lighter, clearer, and more energized. Remember, health is a capital asset that can be preserved and increased. And sometimes it all starts with one small habit: what we drink in the evening. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And in the comments, let me know. What's your favorite evening drink? And would you be willing to try a replacement? This was Dr. Harold Benson. Take care of yourself and stay healthy.